Did you know that Dragon Quest holds a Guinness World Record? 6 actually, but one of them was for the strangest thing. For being the first ever video game to have a ballet adaptation. All of us at one point in our lives have tried a little ballet move in our bedrooms and we failed instantly. I'd be willing to bet that 98% of you watching this video don't even know how to understand ballet. Because, well, this is a Dragon Quest video. Why on the goddess's green earth should you know that? Well, that's where I come in. I took the time to understand ballet before watching this show, and I am so happy I did, because this is such a unique experience with an original and emotional story. I got goosebumps at least 3 times. After watching this video, I would 100% recommend going to watch the full thing. I think it's important to understand how to interpret ballet. At first glance, it may seem like it's just dancing. However, the expression of dance and particular movements can portray emotions in such a unique and demure way. I'll make it simple. They're not trying to trick you, they're not trying to confuse you. Ballets are meant to be seen and understood without words. They're very easy to understand. The music sets the emotion, the costumes tell you who characters are, the synopsis gives you an understanding of the story. With all that, just paying attention tells you everything you need to know, even if it may be daunting at first. Ballet is an extremely demanding profession with an intense strength and skill bar. Get up and try standing on your tiptoes for 5 seconds. And no, not your toes, the tip of your toes. I bet that you can't, neither can I. And that's just basic entry ballet skills. Now you're a master of ballet, kinda, let's talk about Dragon Quest. This was a project that started its production way back in 1995. Composed by the legendary Koichi Sugiyama and choreographed by the ballet master Minoru Suzuki. Wait, no, not the wrestler, I mean this guy. Then brought to life by the Star Dancers Ballet. The ballet initially utilised the music from the first 5 games for its 1995 debut, and later added DQ6 soundtrack for its later shows. The ballet was a simple but expressive story. There's a prologue and 2 acts, and this performance has 11 productions from 1995 to 2019. Keep in mind, each production would mean multiple performances over multiple weekends and cities, and each production would slightly be different to the last. It's hard to tell what differences exactly between each, since not many of them were documented. It had a simple premise. A princess sneaks out of a castle and ventures into the town, where she helps an elderly man who appears weak. In gratitude, the old man gives her a flute. Unbeknownst to them, the evil Dark Lord is observing the scene. Through his magical powers, he plots to disrupt the kingdom's peace by kidnapping the princess. That's the basic prologue that you need going into the ballet, and then there's the 2 distinct acts. At the royal palace, a grand ball is being held. Suddenly, an ominous presence envelops the palace. The legendary hero senses that this is the work of the Dark Lord. He commands the white hero, who wishes to accompany him, to stay and protect the castle, giving him armor bearing the crest of Roto. The legendary hero sets off on a journey to defeat the Dark Lord. Left behind in the castle, the white hero and the princess grow closer, but their moment is interrupted when the Dark Lord and the black hero appear and abduct the princess. The white hero, clutching the flute left behind, sneaks out of the castle to rescue the princess. Attacked and wounded by monsters, the white hero feels hopeless and plays the flute. The elderly man appears and advises him to go to town and find allies, then disappears. Upon reaching the town, the white hero enters a tavern. A female warrior leading a group of ruffians and a cheerful weapon merchant soon arrive. The weapon merchant possesses a mysterious sword that no one can draw. The ruffians try, but fail to draw the sword, and they mock the white hero when he also attempts to draw it. The situation escalates when it's revealed that the weapon merchant sold fake weapons to the ruffians, leading to a brawl in the tavern. To make matters worse, the Dark Lord's soldiers, led by the black hero, also arrive, turning the commotion into a battle. The white hero and the warrior unexpectedly fight well together and manage to fend off the soldiers, though many are injured. The white hero plays the flute, summoning the elderly man, who is revealed to be a sage, and the sage heals the wounded with his magic. The sage encourages the white hero to draw the mysterious sword, which is revealed to be the sword of Roto. The warrior pledges to join the white hero, and they forcibly bring along the weapon merchant. The sage also joins the party, and they leave town together. It's worth noting that despite being inspired by the game's events, actual characters do appear, like Torneko. Japan's obsession with this regular dude in a world of heroes and magic needs to be studied. I am currently studying this, new video coming soon. And the story progresses into Act 2. The princess, now a prisoner in the Dark Palace, is terrified by the monsters surrounding her. However, she senses a different aura from the Black Hero compared to the other monsters. The legendary hero arrives and challenges the Dark Lord and his forces. During the battle, the legendary hero notices that the Black Hero wears the same necklace as the White Hero, revealing the Black Hero's true identity. However, the legendary hero is overpowered and loses his life before the Dark Lord. The White Hero and his companions reach the Dark Forest where the Dark Palace is located, but they are separated due to the monster's schemes. The Black Hero appears before the now alone White Hero. They engage in a fierce duel and the White Hero is defeated. However, the Black Hero hesitates to deliver the final blow and leaves. As the White Hero lies on the ground defeated, a fairy appears and leads him into a dream world. In the dream world, he witnesses a Holy Mother holding 2 infants in a castle in the sky. The infants wear the same necklace as the White Hero. The Dark Lord appears and a battle ensues between him and the legendary hero. The Holy Mother is mortally wounded and one of the infants is kidnapped by the Dark Lord. The Holy Mother entrusts the remaining infant to the legendary hero before passing away. The remaining infant was the White Hero. Upon awakening from the dream world, the White Hero finds a heavenly helmet beside him. Putting on the helmet, he feels a surge of strength and repels the attacking monsters with magic. Eventually, he reunites with his scattered companions and retrieves the stolen sword. With renewed resolve, the White Hero and his party set out for the Dark Palace to face the Dark Lord in a final showdown. Now, this sounds awesome, and if I ever have the chance, I would pay good money to be front row center. Please keep in mind, English sources are extremely thin regarding, well, most of this video. If anyone has any extra knowledge, I would love to hear it below. Also, if you've made it this far, hello. 2019 decided to revamp the whole thing, and then it was halted due to COVID, but quietly in the works during the pandemic. In 2020, the Star Dancers Ballet performed Dragon Quest mid-pandemic for 2 nights in October. It's a surprise it ran at all, but it was a success. But then 2 years later, in 2022, there was the most interesting show. A free special version of the ballet was performed Saturday, October 1st, 2022 at 8:30 PM on the Dragon Quest Island attraction park hosted on Awaji Island. Before this performance, Yuji Horii himself held a special talk show with the ballet director. It was a one-night only complete surprise event for whoever happened to be on Awaji Island that day and got free tickets. Then 1 year later, Dragon Quest Ballet 2, an actual sequel to the nearly 30-year-old ballet. It toured 3 cities across 3 nights in Japan, at the new National Theatre in Tokyo, Aichi Prefectural Art Theatre, and Osaka's Venice Theatre, from August to September. Unlike the original, that was only Tokyo based on certain weekends. Though there are few sources for me to talk about, it's said to be a complete new production rather than a revival of the original. Then finally, the 30th anniversary of Dragon Quest Ballet. For the first time in history, the Tokyo Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra performed live music. By this point, the ballet had just over 50 performances in total, and getting the TMSO was a huge step up in prestige and class. They are hailed as the greatest orchestra in Japan in terms of international prestige and reputation at a world-class level. And fun fact, they also performed the Dragon Quest theme for Dragon Quest XI. Their performance and association with Dragon Quest on more than one occasion proves that Dragon Quest's cultural impact on Japan is undeniable, and the series is wholly loved and appreciated. The ballet sits in a larger story about how serious Japan takes the series as a cultural institution, much more than a game. When series hit mainstream audiences and get many adaptations, as many as Dragon Quest does, you start to question the integrity of the whole thing. Like, was a ballet just a random cash grab? Well, no it wasn't. The series composer Koichi Sugiyama actually composed ballet as a teenager. This was a legendary classic composer, returning to a form he'd long since worked in. He applied the product of his new works, and he spent decades working with orchestras anyway, and then he put it all together to fit his own craft of ballet. And he also holds a Guinness World Record of oldest composer. His works pulled people into the world of ballet despite having no interest. I had no interest before watching this ballet, and you can read reviews online where this was their first ever ballet and they loved it. I can vouch for them. And I want to end this with my favourite fact in the entire video. This video started with Dragon Quest Ballet and is ending as a homage to Koichi Sugiyama. His orchestral works in Dragon Quest were presented in the opening ceremony of the 2020 Olympics. The series' main theme was the very first song played during the Parade of Nations, accompanying the athletes as they enter the stadium. Dragon Quest was played in front of a projected amount of 600 million people worldwide, only 2 months before his passing at 90 years old.